Hello everyone, I'm Amelia Newcomb, this is Harvey, and his show name is Harvard. So Harvey is 9 this year. I got him as a 5-year-old, and this year we are moving up into the I2 and the developing Grand Prix. And we have some exciting news, which is that we were just awarded the Lavelle training grant from the Dressage Foundation. So to get a grant like this, it's definitely a big boost for me, and it will really help me to achieve my dreams with Harvey and to get the training and go to the shows that we need to go to. Dressage is, as you know, a hard sport, and like Lavelle said, there's a lot of bumps in the road. So this funding will definitely really help to give me and Harvey the opportunity that he deserves. He's a very talented horse, by far the most talented horse I've ever ridden. I say it all the time that I'm so lucky to get to own him, to get to ride him, and I also have an obligation to really do right by him and make him to be the best possible horse that he can be. So as you can see, he's very sweet. I asked on Amelia's Dressage Club for you guys to ask me questions about Harvey, and there's like 60 of them. So I'm gonna go through some of them and answer them for you. Okay, how did you come to decide to buy him? What considerations did you have buying a young prospect like Harvey? So that's actually a good story how I got Harvey. And it's kind of funny because I saw him in Europe a year before I bought him. I was over there with a client, and I wasn't looking at the time because I still had my old Grand Prix horse Trump, and I didn't have any money to buy a horse. So we went over there and she rode Harvey, but it was actually kind of scary because she lost her stirrup and Harvey like bolted around the arena. He like took off totally out of control because he's a very, very sensitive horse, and he didn't like the stirrup like banging on his side. So needless to say, she didn't buy him. And a year later, so that was when he was 4, I went back a year later as a 5-year-old, and they still had him, and I rode him and I really loved him. The woman that had him from a yearling to a 5-year-old and started him, her name is Cindy, and she just loved him and did like such an amazing job of training him. And so I rode him, and it was like the most incredible feeling I'd ever had on a horse. Like, he was just so light and so soft, and everything just felt really effortless on him. But the problem was that he was too much money. He was like way out of my budget. So I like put together this whole thing and tried to get like people to help me buy him, none of which really worked. So finally I got them to come down a little in the price. I got, my mom lent me a little money, and his vet check was good. So yeah, I ended up getting him, but it was definitely a stretch because it was like years and years of my savings. And I remember going to the bank to wire the money and just calling my mom in tears because I was like, I don't have enough money to do this. And you know, what if I get him here and he's totally nuts and I've just wasted like 5 years of my lifetime savings of working every day of my life to buy a horse. So, but anyways, it's turned out really good. And, you know, getting a horse like Harvey has definitely forced me to become a better rider, to up my game. He's really bouncy. And so when I first got him, like my legs would hurt so much and I would get so tired trying to sit his trot. So I had to get a lot stronger and a lot fitter to be able to ride him. But yeah, it's turned out really well. Okay, next question. Oh, the other thing that's really funny about Harvey is that Harvey loves dogs. So when I got him in Europe, there were these little Jack Russells, and I guess he must have loved them. And he's always loved Levi. But like the first 3 or 4 years, Levi would not let Harvey touch him. So this has only been recently where like if I scratch Levi, then Harvey can touch Levi, and Harvey just like really loves Levi, and he loves to touch him. And sometimes if Levi has his ball, Harvey will steal Levi's ball. And Harvey is just the sweetest horse. So one of you guys asked like if Harvey was a person, what his personality would be like. And he's like really sensitive, so he really doesn't like new people, like when someone new comes into his stall, sometimes they'll have trouble catching him. He's like a very kind of skittish horse, but once you get to know him, he's like one of the sweetest and like most cuddly, and he just loves like having his ears stroked, and his like he just loves that. If you just stroke his ears, he totally relaxes. And of course he has a fascination with Levi. Levi. Okay, when did you know that he was ready for more advanced movements? So I think that always, as you're training a horse, that you just have to listen to your horse and be very consistent in the training. So I've had him since he was 5 and he's now 9. When I got him, he was like doing second level, and now he's doing pretty much all the Grand Prix. But it's been just about gradually asking a little more and more and slowly introducing the movements. But then also there's times where, like if I push him too hard and if I feel him start to get tense or lose his confidence, then I need to go back and focus on the basics and try to break things down a little better for him, because he's like a very, very willing horse. Like he never says no, he's always trying. So if he's not doing something, it's usually because he doesn't understand or he's not strong enough for it. It's not because he doesn't want to do it. So I always try to help him out with that. Okay, this is from Paula. What does he think is really fun to do? I don't know, Harvey, what do you think is really fun to do? I think he really enjoys his turnouts. I think he likes to roll in the dirt. I think that I do think he likes to work. I think he likes it when I show up in the morning and when Levi shows up in the morning, because he always puts his head out and says hi to us. What are Harvey's quirks? I don't know. He's just a horse. I don't know that he has any quirks. He eats carrots really funny, which I'll show you guys at the end here. He hates his blanket. You always have to put a halter on him to get his blanket on. And if you ever shock him accidentally, like the other day, it was windy and there was a lot of electricity in the air, and I shocked him when I was going to put his blanket on, and he like would not let me catch him in the stall. He was so afraid. So I guess that's one of his quirks. The #1 challenge on Harvey and how to correct it. Okay, so the biggest challenge that I've had with Harvey is the connection on him, because he hates bits and he likes to be like really too light in the contact, and he can also be a little bit too strong on the left rein. So it's taken me a long time to just get him to where he'll like trust the bit and take his neck a little bit out, and also to figure out a bit that he likes. He doesn't like bits that like do the nutcracker action and kind of squash his tongue. So we have a special bit on our double bridle with like a rubber piece in the middle so that it doesn't bend so much. So that has been our biggest challenge. Okay, Melissa, what does his care look like? Chiro, massage, vet. I'm fascinated by the collection of practitioners that it seems to take to have a horse trained to the upper levels. So a couple things that I think are really important. One is being very consistent in the training. So I try not to ever overwork him. And I always do like 2 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, or sometimes I'll mix it up and give him 2 days off in a row. But I always try to have like my workouts be similar, so that it's not like I like work him super hard and then give him 4 days off and then work him super hard and give him 4 days off. I think that's really important. There are days like where I'll do more stretching, and then I only do like really high intensity workout, I would say 3 times a week. So consistency is the most important thing. The second most important thing I would say is shoeing, and I try to keep him on a 5-week cycle, because if you try to stretch it out for too long and their feet get really long, then they're more likely to have injuries. So keeping them on a consistent shoeing cycle and have a really good shoer. So don't find the cheapest shoer, find the best shoer, because if your shoeing gets messed up, it can cause a lot of other issues. And he does get turned out. He goes out in the grass pasture for like an hour a day, and then he gets hand walked. So just keeping him moving as much as possible. And I do some massage and laser on his neck just to help keep him happy. Day to day, how do you keep him happy and focused outside of the ring? So Harvey is like a pretty happy horse, and in general, like, he can be distracted, but over the years, so I got him when he was 5, and I used to say that he had the attention span of a gnat because he would like get distracted by everything. But I've over the years built up that discipline to teach him to stay on my aids and to stay focused. And so that's definitely improved over the years. And as far as keeping him happy, I always try to, you know, vary my work, and we're lucky here at Spirit. We have 5 arenas. We have a big jump arena. We have a track that goes all the way around the property. So I do not ride him in the dressage court every day. I would say like once or twice a week at most. But then he loves to go in the jumping arena, and you know, you can work all your dressage movements in the jumping arena. So that helps to keep him happy. And yeah, I always just try to spend some quality time with him, like grooming him every day. Okay, Linda, have you ever come off of Harvey? No, thank God, because I think that would really scare Harvey if I fell off him. Next question is from Daniela. Have you ever had a loss of confidence with Harvey, and how did you work through it? So a funny story, when I first got Harvey, is that I applied to ride in the FEI Trainers Conference with him, and I got selected. And it was only like, I think it was like 6 weeks or 2 months after I'd gotten him. So we took him down to the Del Mar Showgrounds, and I lunged him first. And then I tried to get on him, and like his back was so tight. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna die. So luckily my brother was there, and he actually had to lunge me on him until Harvey like kind of relaxed enough. And then I was able to take him into the indoor, and that trainers conference was actually with Yo Hinneman, which Yo is the trainer who's been helping me a lot with Harvey lately, and we're going to be working a lot with him this winter. But it definitely, I think, confidence with Harvey, especially because he's a very sensitive horse, it took a long time to build and to develop it to where like I trust him and he trusts me. And he's definitely a one-person horse. Like no one else rides him. Someone here asked if Mr. Scrambled Eggs had ever ridden Harvey. So Mr. Scrambled Eggs is my husband, and he's ridden Harvey a few times, but only when I've been, oh sorry Levi, only when I've been in Europe, because Harvey doesn't like other people. So whenever he rides him, he says that he's like spooky at stuff that he's never spooky with me at. So he's a sensitive one-person kind of horse, and I don't let a lot of other people ride him. So someone asked if Harvey likes carrots or apples better. I should take the sticker off the apple, so we're gonna let him decide. I'm gonna put the carrot here and the apple here, and we're gonna see, where should I stand? I'm gonna stand out of it. We're gonna see which one he likes. Oh, apparently he likes apples better. Good boy, Harvey. Oh good, now I can get it all dirty. So I guess he likes apples better. But one thing that's super funny about Harvey is that when he eats carrots, he always like eats them like a rabbit. Like he bites it like that. Like a lot of horses will just like take the whole thing in their mouth, but he always bites off little pieces. So another thing about Harvey is he really loves bananas, and so that's my secret to getting good foam when you are competing and you want that nice white foam coming out of their mouth, is to give them a banana when they have their bridle on, and it helps them to get nice foam. So So yeah, those are just some questions that you guys had about Harvey. And like I said, I think Harvey is for sure the most talented horse I've ever had. I'm really looking forward to making him a Grand Prix horse. And I'm so grateful to the Dressage Foundation for awarding us this grant so that we can train with Johanneman and Christine Traurig, and also do all of the shows and hopefully go to Chicago and make our country proud, because he's the sweetest, most special horse that I've ever had. And it's taken me a long time to get here, and I'm also super grateful for all of the other horses that I've had and ridden before Harvey that were not as talented, because they taught me how to train and how to ride, so that when I have a horse like this, I can hopefully help him to live up to his potential. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video of Harvey. Okay, so one other thing that's really special about Harvey is that he's like an expensive Appaloosa. So he has these white spots, these things, they're called dream catcher spots. And sometimes he has like a lot of them. Sometimes he doesn't have, right now he doesn't have that many, but they like come and go, and they appear in different places, and no one knows why. They're like, we've tested to see if he's deficient in something, but they're just called dream catcher spots. And Harvey also has like the most beautiful tail. Like, I think every woman wants hair like Harvey. So there's Harvey's beautiful tail. And when I got him, his tail wasn't so nice, but I've tried to take care of it and grow a beautiful tail. So yeah, that's Harvey. He's the sweetest horse ever. And that's it. The end.